Hey guys, I'm back with another OCD tip, and today I'm going to be talking about language and how it can serve as a barrier as well as create suffering. So, what I mean by this is that we need to learn how to use language as a tool to just communicate and solely communicate with people. The problem is that we internalize our language and we're digging deeply into the language that OCD throws at us. So, like, we're having this conversation with ourselves, but we're not meant to internalize. We need to be strict with it and say, I can turn this off because this is not, I'm using this as a tool. So, if you can kind of switch the perspective into thinking that language is just a tool that you use to communicate and to shut it off at all other times, give that a try. So, like sorry, I wrote some stuff down, so if I'm looking away, that's why. You are the creator of the story, and then you end up believing it. So what happens is OCD is perpetuating the stories, the language that is man-made, that is actually created by humans. And so if you can see your thinking more like you're picking up the pen and you can put it down at any time. So making it so that thinking is your vice and that the language is actually, it's just like your vice, it's your habit. If you can kind of change that perspective so that it's not happening to you, but you're using it as a tool, this can be very empowering. So you use language for communication and to connect with others only. And when you are alone and you do not need it, turn it off, unless it's a source of inspiration. So, you need to recognize, like, this can be a practice of how often you fuse. When I say fuse, I mean identify or kind of latch or become one with the thoughts that are in your head, which are completely made up, by the way. So we're creating a story with the words themselves. So it's kind of like if you can think of Boggle or Scrabble or a word game. You're taking those words and you're confabulating them to make some meaning out of it. But they're just words that are man-made, okay? Watch how often you fuse with the stories of your words versus just speaking and listening to words. So when you're with people. So, like, even the stories you have of others are completely made up, but we perpetuate them and ruminate over them like we would an audiobook on repeat, right? So you actually don't have to do this, and you can be more resourceful with language, using it as a tool, and that's it. So basically, you create your own suffering, or the OCD creates your own suffering, right? But you can stop that by starting to turn it. Say, all right, this is a tool that I'm actually just internalizing right now, that I should just use for outward purposes to connect and communicate with other people. Talking to myself is not helpful unless it's a source of inspiration or it's a problem that you can physically solve. Or like a math problem or something like that, where you talk yourself through steps. So try that. Let me know how that goes. View your thinking as a vice, as a habit that you can stop, just like you can smoking. I know these are hard habits, but like smoking or drinking or picking your skin, like I actually do that. Biting your nails. Same thinking is the same thing. All right, I'm picking up the thinking, I'm going to put it down. I'm picking up the pen to think, to write thoughts, I'm going to put that down. Let me know how this works for you, and I will talk to you soon.